Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're tackling something truly bizarre. The Dancing Plague of Strasbourg back in 1518.
Yeah, it's this incredible story. Hundreds of people just compelled to dance for weeks.
Exactly. So what happened? Why? That's what we're digging into. And we actually have quite a bit to go on, don't we?
We do, surprisingly. There are, contemporary chronicles, notes from physicians, even city council orders, sermons too. It's documented.
And the setting, Strasbourg 1518, it wasn't exactly a picnic, was it? The sources talk about failed harvest, famine.
Oh, absolutely. And disease was rampant smallpox, syphilis, plus all the religious turmoil after Luther's theses. It was a pressure cooker.
A city really under immense stress, which I guess leads us to the core mystery. Hundreds dancing uncontrollably. What caused it? How did people react?
Right. Those are the key questions. It apparently all kicked off with one person, a fratrofea, around July 14th.
She just started dancing in the street.
Yep. And apparently it wasn't like joyful dancing. Accounts describe it as frantic, almost tortured movements, twisting, shaking, and she kept going for days.
Just her, initially. Imagine seeing that. The alarm must have been huge.
Totally. And the first official reaction, they took her away to a shrine, St. Vitus specifically, who was already linked to, well, dancing curses.
So that response itself might have, reinforced the idea in people's minds.
It seems very likely. And then things escalated fast. Within about a week, reports say over 30 others had joined in.
30? And it grew from there.
Oh, yeah. By August, the numbers are all over the place, maybe 50. Some sources even suggest up to 400 people, men, women, different backgrounds. And it lasted for about 2 months into early September.
2 months. Can you picture that? Markets, streets, just filled with people gyrating, shaking, looking anguished.
The physical toll must have been horrific. Exhaustion, feet swollen, bloody. There are mentions of people dying just from heart attacks or strokes, though the exact death toll is debated.
Just the image is staggering. Hundreds dancing themselves, potentially, to death.
And the initial medical advice, based on the old humoral theory, they diagnosed hot blood.
Hot blood. Okay. So what did they prescribe?
Get this. More dancing. The authorities actually facilitated it. They set up a stage, brought in musicians, hired dancers to keep them going.
Wait, they thought dancing it out would help? That seems counterintuitive.
It does now, yeah. And predictably, it seems to have just made things worse. More people joined in.
So that didn't work. What then?
They reversed course completely, banned public dancing, banned music, and then they organized a forced pilgrimage.
Back to St. Vitus.
Exactly, the shrine near Severn. They performed rituals, made people wear red shoes, used holy water, incense, circled an effigy of the saint.
Yeah.
And did that work?
Apparently, after that intervention, the dancing did subside. It stopped.
It's fascinating how beliefs played into this. You had supernatural fears, God's wrath, demonic possession, the St. Vitus curse itself. Right. Alongside some early sort of naturalistic ideas, Paracelsus talked about hot blood, but also the power of imagination suggestion.
And the belief in St. Vitus causing dancing plagues was already there.
Very much so, especially in that region. Combine that pre-existing belief with a population suffering immense hardship. It's a potent mix.
People often bring up ergotism, right? The poisoning from moldy rye.
They do. Ergot poisoning can cause convulsions, hallucinations, but the specific symptoms don't perfectly match sustained dancing for weeks.
And would it affect so many people in the exact same way over that long? Seems unlikely.
It does raise questions, which leads most historians now towards mass psychogenic illness, or MPI.
Okay, break that down. What is MPI?
Basically, it's when psychological stress manifests as physical symptoms, spreading through a group via social contagion, often unconsciously. Think extreme stress meeting shared cultural beliefs.
So the intense anxiety in Strasbourg, the belief in St. Vitus seeing others dance, it could trigger a similar physical response in observers.
Precisely. The pattern of spreading, the specific form the illness took dancing, linked to St. Vitus fits well. Descriptions of the dancers sound like dissociative states, a known response to trauma. And there were earlier, smaller dancing manias in that area, too.
So it wasn't entirely unprecedented. It's like the stress had nowhere else to go, and it came out physically, shaped by their deepest fears and beliefs.
Yeah, it's a terrifying idea, losing control of your own body like that in public. A physical manifestation of collective trauma, the anguish, the sheer spectacle of suffering.
It really underlines that powerful, sometimes frightening link between mind, body, and society, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Especially under extreme pressure.
Absolutely. And it leaves you wondering, doesn't it? Even centuries on, what does this bizarre episode tell us about how we, as people and communities, cope or sometimes fail to cope when faced with overwhelming crisis.